UWW-TV, your home for Warhawk Athletics.
Tamir Thomas, house call on the first play of the drive.
Corralo with the interception at the buzzer. It's in! It's in!
That one's back towards left field. Gone! Ryan Norton goes yard.
Scores, highlights, analysis, and accolades. This is Warhawk Sports Central.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Warhawk Sports Central on UWW-TV, your home for Whitewater sports coverage. We're glad you could join us tonight. I'm Alex Lazzarini, alongside Don Hernandez. We'll be joined by the Insider very shortly. On today's episode, we'll discuss men's basketball head coaching extension, Whitewater softball reaching the end of their regular season, Warhawk baseball's offensive success, and who we think are the best athletes on the Whitewater campus. We begin today's report with an update on the men's basketball team's head coaching search. After conducting a national search, UW-Whitewater announced that they would stick with interim head coach Jared Wixer and hire him as the official head coach starting next season. Wixer was promoted to interim head coach following the retirement of national champion head coach Pat Miller right before the beginning of last season. Coach Wixer led the Warhawks to a 17-9 record in the first full season at the helm. The Warhawks finished fourth in the conference during the regular season, and they were eliminated in the first round of the WEAC tournament by the UW-Stevens Pointers. The Warhawks lose 5 seniors, 3 with starting experience, as they look to retool for another postseason run. So what do you think about this move extending Wixer's contract?
I honestly think it's a good idea, even though last year we did see the Warhawks, they started off pretty hot. But then towards like the middle of the season, they got in a little bit of a slump, but they did not make the postseason. However, as we see teams such as the Bucks deal a new head coach, and then you're kind of just like all over the place, chemistry's not really there. I definitely think now that they have some more time with Coach Wixer, they're going to be just fine. But then that leads me to some key players that we're losing, like Trayvon Chisholm. He averaged over 15 points a game, grabbed a couple boards. You could always rely on him just to be like the big man down low, the big man on defense, you know, just securing the ball, as well as junior Miles Barnstable. But Miles Barnstable may be returned to the Warhawks currently in the transfer portal, but hopefully he does stay with us. But if he does stay with us, he would just a guard that he would light up the crowd. His threes were always on point. He was the three-point shooter. He was a guy playmaking, crossing ankles, you know, just doing really everything for the Warhawks. So we'll see on that one.
Yeah, and another person you didn't mention is his brother Delvin Barnstable. With that big wingspan, he's a great asset on the defensive side of things. Plus, he's averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. So he's kind of doing it all. But I do recall in a press conference earlier in the season we had with Wixer, he was very confident about this team moving forward and how they're going to bond together. So I think they're going to work out for the best.
Yeah, I definitely do think that they really should stay confident on that, because you still have guys returning, like Miles Barnstable might return, but also you got guys like J.R. Lukenbill out of Burlington High. Towards the end of the season last year, he got some more minutes, but he's a freshman. He'll be going into his sophomore season. We could definitely look some time for him, as well as Jameer Barker, also a junior heading into his senior season. Elijah Lambert always had a lot of minutes, whether that was starting or coming off the bench. He did start 18 games last season, so definitely some players to look out for. And for Trayvon Chisholm to fill his role with that pick and roll offense that they run, Carter Capstrin, also another big man, can shoot threes, can move pretty well, can do some playmaking as a big man. He started multiple games this year, and hopefully he will fulfill that spot with the pick and roll offense that the Warhawks like to run.
Right, and looking ahead into the WEAC, last season Whitewater went 7-7. UW-Platteville is going to be tough next season. They have some returners coming back. I don't see that starting lineup being much more different than it was last season. So they were the dominant force in the WEAC. They went on, made it all the way to the sectional finals in March. And like I said, with returners coming back, they're just going to be a tough opponent next year for everybody in the WEAC.
Yeah, the WEAC is definitely really tough next year. You know, everyone's looking for some sort of revenge. Stevens Point, Platteville, Lacrosse. Lacrosse is always a huge rival game. I remember going to that game myself, and it was just packed. It was the most packed I've ever seen a Warhawk men's basketball game ever in my life. So it's a time for the Warhawks to get the revenge.
We'll have to see what sort of adjustments Coach Wixer makes heading into year 2 when they return to play this winter. Coming up after the break, we'll bring in the Insider here to give us his insight on Warhawk softball's continued success and their head coach's newest achievement. We'll be right back.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Your home for excellence in action. The WIAC Network. Watch and download here.
Matt checking in to see how Sam is doing on his project. And it's getting close to exporting now, the final step in the process. And it is complete, and Sam is hyped. Finally gets complete and spikes the ball into the end zone. Sam's celebrating with his colleagues, and they throw a flag on the play. The ref's going to call excessive celebration. Sam is in disbelief and can't believe it. He tries to dispute the call, but the ref is not having any of it.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Central on UWW-TV. As Whitewater softball trends toward the end of their regular season, they continue to face tough competition in and out of the WIAC. The Warhawks split their 4 games last week against Rockford and UW La Crosse. The Warhawks are 2 games out of first place in the conference with only 4 WIAC games to go. They will need to play lights out in order to return to the top of the WIAC in the regular season and the postseason. Here with more on how the Warhawks played last week and how they can improve is the insider, Nick Demos. Nick, take it away.
Thanks, Don. As you mentioned, Warhawk softball has been rolling in these past few weeks, and they continued that success against Rockford at home last Thursday. This Warhawks team looked like a well-oiled machine. In the first game of the doubleheader, the Warhawks showcased their prowess on the field, securing a hard-fought 3-1 victory over Rockford. To end Thursday night, the Warhawks capped off the doubleheader with 2 victories, making that 7 straight wins, with a current record of 23-7 overall and 6-4 in conference. Additionally, the Warhawks are now 10-0 all-time against the Regents. In that series, head coach Brenda Volk reached a historic milestone, securing her 750th career win and solidifying her status as a coaching legend at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Sophomore pitcher Brooke Hawk delivered a stellar performance against Rockford, registering saves in both games, setting a new program record for career saves with 12, with the previous being 10. Game 2 saw the Warhawks continuing their dominance, starting out hot, up 3-0 through 3 innings, blasting their way to a 10-6 triumph over Rockford. The offense was firing on all cylinders, with Grace Wickman leading the charge with a standout performance, going 5 for 6 at the plate, including the walk-off hit that sealed the victory for Whitewater. The Warhawks' relentless hitting and solid defense proved too much for the Regents to handle. With spectacular doubleheader it was, the UW-Whitewater Warhawks showcased their talent, teamwork, and tenacity, sweeping Rockford in a twin bill to further solidify their position as contenders at the national level. Congratulations to Coach Volk and the entire Warhawks team on their outstanding performance.
Yeah, great reporting, Nick. What can we look forward to, or what can we expect from this Whitewater team moving towards the WIAC tournament?
I would say the biggest thing that we need to look forward to is better pitching by the Whitewater Warhawks, and if they can continue this offensive prowess they've been on, I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
With the home series coming up against Stevens Point, what can we expect from Stevens Point, and what can we expect from Whitewater coming in?
Stevens Point has been on an absolute tear lately. If Whitewater can continue their play on the offensive end and the pitching from Whitewater can improve just slightly, I think they can look at possibly 1-1 split or hopefully 2 total wins in that doubleheader.
What is one word to describe head coach Coach Volk with the Warhawks?
One word to describe it would be legend. She's got 750 career wins and counting. We can expect them to turn up the heat here coming into the end of the regular season towards the WIAC tournament.
Thank you for that report, Nick. Whitewater softball is down to their final week of regular season play. They will begin in the WIAC Conference Tournament on May 9th. Coming up after the break, we will discuss Warhawk baseball and how they are already within reach of their 22nd WIAC regular season title. We'll be right back here on Warhawk Sports Central.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a Warhawk.
Come on!
Don't miss out on your chance to be a Warhawk
at UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you got to see what's on UWW-TV.
Here at UW Whitewater Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on!
Stepped it anyways. Oh, she got that. Oh, they're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Central on UWW-TV. Another WIAC series is in the books for UW Whitewater baseball. Even with the split series on the road at UW Platteville, the number 6 ranked Warhawks still hold a 17-3 WIAC record and stand 4 games up in the conference standings. The Warhawks will host a 4-game series with the Pointers of UW Stevens Point. The Pointers are currently second place in the WIAC with a 13-7 conference record and a 22-12 overall record. It would only take one win for UW Whitewater to claim sole first in the WIAC regular season, but rest assured they are looking for much more than a WIAC title. Alex, let's start off with the Platteville series. What do you got for us?
Yeah, looking at Platteville, I mean, it was top seed Whitewater versus middle of the pack Platteville, so you weren't coming in expecting much from Platteville. They are 11-19 overall, which, I mean, on paper, that's not great. Those aren't great numbers, but if you went and watched them play, that just shows you how tough this WEAC really is. Whitewater has won 6 of their last 7 games, so they're looking unstoppable right now. They're winning a lot. They're hitting great. They're pitching great. Platteville did beat us the last series we played them, 1-1, to split the difference. And if Whitewater keeps playing like they've been playing, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to take that top seed in the WEAC. Some key players in their success are Cade Barrett, who pitches for Whitewater here. He's throwing a 3.24 ERA right now, which is pretty good, and he's a huge reason for the success of this Warhawks team. Another player is Eli Frank. He's a top 5 hitter in the nation right now in all of D3. Last week he batted a .667, which, like I said, is just unbelievable. MLB The Show numbers, just video game numbers. He had 10 hits and 15 at-bats, and you can always count on him to get on base or put a ball out there to get a run in. Looking ahead to that Stevens Point series, they are 22-12 overall, second in the WEAC, just behind us, and I think we kind of have an advantage for that game. It is a home game. They're only 4-6 on the road, and they also recently split a 1-1 series with Lacrosse. Last time we played Lacrosse, it was 3-1. They've won 7 of their last 10, though, so they're also a very hot team coming in. And it's definitely going to be a tough game, especially them knowing that the Warhawks just need that one more win to secure the top seed. But it's going to be a great defensive game, and I'm excited for it.
Well, you mentioned Stevens Point being a hot team and a hot-hitting team. I'll tell you even hotter team, the Whitewater Warhawks. We're the hottest team in D3 as of hitting right now. We average over 10 runs a game. Like, that's just incredible. I think the exact number is like 14.3 or something like that. So that number alone is just incredible, which means everyone on the team is pretty much hitting. When you're pitching against the Warhawks, I would be afraid if I were you, because you're going up against a team who is just swinging confident. They're swinging happily. Some key players are, like you said, Eli Frank. I do think Eli Frank is probably he's really dangerous when it comes to being on the plate, and dangerous first baseman as well. He's always doing something spectacular, just throwing fireworks out there. And another thing is pitching. I would say Michael Hilke Jr., Jack Hagan, both 6-0. So if you're going up against one of them, you're pretty much not going to be doing as successful. But like you said, Stevens Point is pretty hot right now, so we never know anything could happen. We're getting close to the end of the season, going into the WEAC tournament. And I do think we will claim that number 1 spot just because we have the home field advantage. We're a hot-hitting team. Everyone on the team is dangerous and is ready to play. And I think just with one win, if we just need one, we don't have to worry about much. Hope we face a lower team seed. And we're definitely hungry to go out there and just get some W's and hopefully enter into the postseason, as I think we probably most likely will be in the number 6 ranked division, our team in the country. And you're 30-6, that's incredible, and this team's just ready to go out there and play.
Yeah, definitely. Great on both sides of the ball. I mean, offense and defense. Like you said, the great pitching, the great hitting, it all averages out to just an amazing baseball team, and I think they're going to go very far in that tournament.
We'll dig into some of our favorite Warhawk athletes from the 2023 through 24 academic year when we return here to Warhawk Sports Central.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
The Wisconsin Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. We're here to compete, to inspire, to grow, and to make history. We are rooted in tradition. For over a century, we have contended as the premier conference within Division III.
I shot the ball.
We are united throughout Wisconsin. All 8 of our full-time member institutions are based in our great state. But although Wisconsin is our home, our impact reverberates across the entire nation, crowning 180 national team championships and counting. Our mission is to shape student athletes who excel academically and athletically, equipped to become leaders in life. We are here to build on our enduring legacy and move boldly forward into the future. We are the WIAC, Excellence in Action.
For Hawk Talk, especially on days I'm hosting, you really need to be up early looking at those news stories, even the night before. I'm finding topics that I can incorporate in the show, and I feel like we get a conversation going.
Once you get the opportunity to do that with other people who appreciate it the same level as you do, it makes it that much more enjoyable.
For everything sports, tune in Monday through Thursday at 91.7 The Edge or watch us on UWW TV.
Welcome back to Warhawk Sports Central. As we now approach the end of the spring athletics season, we want to take time to reflect on some of the best athletes that we have had the pleasure to cover here on UWW TV. Across our 19 NCAA-sanctioned athletic teams and our several club teams, our university has produced some of the best athletes in Division III athletics. As of April, UW-Whitewater claimed 3 individual national championships, a team national championship, and a double-digit All-American honors. For this report, Don and I each selected 1 male and 1 female Warhawk student athlete who we believed was the best athlete on campus this year. So Don, who are your 2?
My 2, first off, we're going to start with Tamir Thomas, a 2-sport athlete. He played football in the fall, and he's a track athlete. He's, in my opinion, a freak athlete. His way, he's a running back for the Warhawks, for our football team, our great football team.
I'm very familiar.
Oh yeah, always successful every single year. Tamir Thomas in the backfield, he's a really patient runner. If you ever notice, this is the reason why he scores a lot per game. Very patient in the backfield. He waits for that hole to open up, and as soon as he hits it, he is gone, or most likely gone. But his also offensive line right there is just incredible for the Warhawks, and he's always just doing something in the backfield. So when the Warhawks' thing is pound the rock. So Tamir Thomas, he's getting a lot of touches. Another thing, Tamir Thomas, he's also a junior. He's heading into his senior year next year. So we still have another year with him of just greatness. So every time he touches the ball, you never know what to expect. It's not like somebody's just going to touch the ball. He's like, oh yeah, a couple yards. Tamir Thomas, you have no clue what's about to happen. He might run for a touchdown. It might be 70-some yards. It might be just a 1-yarder. But you can most definitely put on your plate next year that Tamir Thomas, he might even have the most touchdowns next year in D3. You never know. He's really an animal like that. And then my second one, Jenna Weinford, a volleyball player. As our good friend Evan would call it, the Weinford wind-up. She's always just doing dominant things on the volleyball court. From a start to a play to the end of a play, start to finish, she's moving. She's quick, she's athletic, she can jump pretty high. Her decision-making is incredible. From one moment, she'll be on like the left side of the court. Another moment, she could be on the right side of the court. It's just she's all over the place, always moving and just doing everything really for Warhawks volleyball. As that's also a successful program over there. But Jenna Weinford really stood out to me this season. I went to almost every game, just like for football with Samir Thomas and them two. Jenna Weinford, unfortunately, we are losing because will be graduating. But Samir Thomas, I'm really excited to watch him next year as I'm a really big football fan. And I just hope that he has just an incredible breakout season next year. But who are your players?
Well, I want to go back to Jenna Weinfurt because, I've announced a couple of their volleyball games, and I've also been to a couple. And that's just a great example of good defense leading to good offense. She's tall, so she's always right there at the net with her hands up. No ball is coming her way. The amount of blocks she had and the amount of spikes she had, she, I believe, led the team in points this season.
She did.
So
Yep.
She's just a great player. But my first one was Trayvon Chisholm, who is one of Whitewater basketball's biggest assets. We've all seen him play. He's big, he's dominant, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can pass. He provides a lot of size to that Whitewater team, which kind of does not have too much size to it.
Right.
And he has a long wingspan, so he's right there with his hands up all the time. He's going to defend you, he's going to be in your face, and he's going to score also. My second one is Aaliyah Grundall, and she is the WEAC all-time leading scorer for women's basketball. She set the single game scoring record, I believe it was this last season. I actually got to announce that game. It was a lot of fun. She averaged 20 points, 2 assists, 6 boards. She recently received the Jostens Trophy for her senior season campaign, and it was an award for National Player of the Year. She's the back-to-back Public Player of the Year, and she's helped lead the team to their Elite Eight this last season. She just had an amazing season. Thank you for tuning in to Warhawk Sports Central. Be sure to check out uwwtv.org for more sports, news, and other entertainment programming. From our insider Nick Demas, Don Hernandez, and our entire studio crew, I'm Alex Lazzarini saying goodnight from UWW-TV's Conover studio. We'll be back with more coverage of the UW Whitewater Athletics next time on Warhawk Sports Central.